Welcome everyone. Today is May 3rd, 2014. The day is the Retro 8 event here at my place, Discmaster 1. That's me. And let me invite you inside to come take a look at some retro gaming. We got everything from the old Atari and Commodore computers to the more modern Dreamcasts and even the PSP via emulation on a big screen TV. Follow me, folks. Okay, so here we are. This is the first room I'm going to take you in. And I was still setting up a little bit here. I haven't actually slept today. And the big screen TV, that's a PSP, Sony PSP, the old handheld unit. That's a PSP emulator running on a PC, coming out on a high-def television. The game that you're seeing there is Monster Hunter 3rd HD, which is a Japanese-only release. But the fans have actually gone back and altered the code now so that it's actually in English. So that's pretty neat. So people like me, big fans of the series, can play one of the better Monster Hunter games, which wasn't sold here in America. Oh, this, yeah, PlayStation 3 wireless. This is for the PSP. It's a wireless connection, so I can sit back on my couch and play Monster Hunter and hundreds of other PlayStation portable games on my high-def television. Over here we have another PC that has multiple emulators on it. Right now you can see we have the Nintendo emulator running. And there's Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Very good game. It's got ColecoVision, Atari 2600, the 5200, NES, Sega, Genesis, Neo Geo. This has got, you name it, it's there. It's got an Atom processor, so it's not very powerful, but for emulation of these old systems, you don't really need much. The company's name is Giada. Of course, you got my custom logo there that I put, the Discmaster's domain. And let's go on to our next room, which is the main room. Follow me, please. This is the official poster for this year's event, Retro 8, May 3rd, 2014. And in case you can't read, no crapple products found here. All right, here we are in the main room. And we'll start here to my left. We have the Atari 7800, which is a really nice system. The game that you can see running there is Scramble. Scramble is actually a recent release. I believe that came out last year in 2013. It's a homebrew, as are all of these games here on this side. The Pac-Man collection, excellent. Of all the recent homebrew releases for Pac-Man, this is the best. Beats the ColecoVision collection. It beats the one that came out for the Atari 800 computer. Recent releases I'm talking about. This is the one to get. If you have a 7800, you want this. Moving over here, we have more of a kind of a modern system. This is the Sega Dreamcast, which came out in the late 90s. I believe it was late 90s, early 2000s. And this is one of my favorite games. This is Alien Front Online that's playing there. Next we have the Anthony Becker Special, because he's an Amiga lover. Here's a 32-bit Amiga CD32, way ahead of its time. It's essentially an Amiga 1200 in a console case. It hooks up to your television so you can play inferior Amiga games. Personally, I prefer the Atari ST, but so be it. And here we have our next station. This is the granddaddy of them all, the Atari 2600. And of course, look who we got up top. Pitfall Harry, Pitfall 2. Over here we have somebody wrecking my Atari 600. And this is another homebrew. This isn't actually Burger Time. This game is called Beef Drop. Sounds like something you do in the restroom, but again, this is your game, Beef Drop, and Craig just died. Well, I must admit this isn't as good as the reading material we had in 2012, but we'll leave that for another day. But this is an issue of Home Computer from 1983, and you can see it has the Texas Instruments, the Commodore 64, greatest 8-bit PC of them all, and an Apple II. Question, why? What was the Atari? Speaking of the Commodore 64, here we go. The most sold computer of all time. Blows away any Apple product that Apple made up until the Macintosh. Apple wanted to brag about their Apple IIe. Apple IIe couldn't shine the shoes of a Commodore 64. This is the ColecoVision, arcade quality games. Not quite, but in the day when all you had was the Atari 2600 pretty much, this was the deal. Here's Pooyan, which is another homebrew release that recently came out within the last few years. And the people that make these games are unbelievable. 2010 this was released. You got to keep the wolves from getting to your children, which are up top. You're a little pig. And again, most of us are. I know I'm a slob, but that's so I'm told. Take that, fiend. So that's Puyan for the ColecoVision. For those of you who are curious, if you look here in the ColecoVision, there's a cartridge called the Atari Max Ultimate SD. What this is, it has a little SD card slot here you may see. And what that allows us to do, essentially every game ever released for the ColecoVision is on this one cartridge. It has a nifty little menu system. Click on it. It reads in the games, and you have basically every game that was ever released. Let's fire up Carnival, since Dale was saying he likes to play this game. One of my favorite games back in the day. I don't hear the music playing. What's going on? The original flat controller tops could wear your hand out really quick playing. This is a ball knob like in an arcade. So it fits nicely in the palm of your hand. It makes it a little bit more responsive. And it's just a nice feeling. It's an easier fit. It doesn't give you hand fatigue as quickly as the old controllers did with the original flattened tops. I believe his name was Yuki. That's his forum name on Atari Age. He's the one. This whole system's from him. You can't really tell, but in the back there's a special modification he made that allows it to be hooked up to S-Video. And it has stereo sound. It comes out so it can hook up to modern televisions. To those of you who aren't old enough and don't remember, back in the days of Atari and ColecoVision, all you had was something called the RF adapter, which combined audio and video into one cable. And what you would get is nothing but fuzzy screens and, you know, garbage sound. Well, that's been modified, and now this thing looks exceptionally sharp. Let me drop an F-bomb on you and go take a hike. We've already insulted you. This is the douchebag who's the Amiga guy.
Look at this piece of shit. Fucking Coleco.
We're going to wreck an Amiga 4000 by the end of the day. Mark my words.
That's like using an Atari.
They've also added, just so you know, another modification they made was a pause switch. Back in the day, you couldn't pause your video games like the kids today can. So if you had to get up and run to the can, you could do it. If you didn't, in our days, if you were racking up a high score and you had to go, you went. You did it where you were sitting because you weren't getting off that game and there was no pause. And finally,
Pause. Right there is pause.
yeah, finally, here's the mascot. This would be Cool Beans Cooper. Say hello, Coop. Where's Sam Sam? You see Sam Sam? Good boy.
Why is everyone